Well, welcome back. In this video, we're going to finish up our health component and get our healing, automatic healing going, and a few other things, and test it out. We'll test it out in the testing scene and make sure it works correctly. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so we've got our basic damage kind of set up and working. But let me comment this, and we will just call it. See, create comment block, and what we will say in here is one sec. Oh, that's right. So this is just our take any damage setup. Okay. So the next thing we want to be able to do is restore our health over time. So you're going to heal over time without the need for anything, but it'll probably be fairly slow, and we can adjust that. We'll set up some factors in here on how quickly you heal, and that may be dependent upon your stats in some form or fashion. In fact, it probably should be based on yeah, it should be based on some other stats. We'll take a look at that. For now, we'll just make it heal at a certain rate, and later on we'll adjust it to use the stats to make that determination. So what we're going to use for this is the tick. We're going to have the event tick, and the very first kind of calculation that we want to do, let me zoom in so we can see, is we want to get that get game time in seconds, and we want to get this last damage time, and we want to subtract those. So why do we want to subtract them? Well, what we want to do is find out how much time has gone by since our last damage time, and if this is greater than some value, and what we'll do is take this and promote it to a variable. Oops, come on. We'll promote that to a variable, and we'll call this variable health restore delay. This is how much time has to go by before you start restoring your health. And it can be just a few seconds. It's mainly so you don't start healing at the same time you're probably taking some additional damage. So for that, we're going to do a branch. And if it's true, right here, we're going to start doing the healing process. All right. So now we're going to use this elapsed time, and we want to get the elapsed time. We want to add it, so we'll go plus to the delta time in seconds. So this elapsed time is going to go then back into elapsed time. So we're going to set elapsed time, and that's going to increment our elapsed time by the delta time, right? So what we're going to do is just give some healing once a second. We don't want to give a healing amount every single frame. So we're going to have some period of time. Well, I had originally said 1 second. I'm looking at my notes here. But I think what we're going to do is take this out and ask if this is greater than, and we'll promote this to a variable. And this variable will be healing, healing interval. So it'll be how often we're applying some healing to it. to the character. And then we've already got healing ability. So we're going to have another branch on this. And if it's true that it's greater than that, so we're going to take this healing ability, which right now it's just a value. This could be a function. In fact, we could, instead of making it a value, we could make it a function now that just returns a value that we could change later. But I'll just leave it as a value for now. We'll make it into a function probably that takes into account your stats. So for now, just to demonstrate this process, we'll just leave it as that. And we'll set this healing ability. Yeah, we'll make it 0.1 for now, so we can see it happening without having to wait too long. And this healing interval that we created, we will, for now, I got to compile that, save it. Well, for now, set it to 1 second. So every second, we're going to add 0.1 to our health. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to take our health, get the health and the healing ability. We're going to add those together. Then we're going to clamp this float to make sure it stays between 0 and 1. And then we're going to just set our health. So we'll just do a set health to here, to here. And one last thing that we need to do is this elapsed time. We'll set that to 0. So here the elapsed time grew to a point over this healing interval by some amount. And that shot us down here, and we're going to set the elapsed time back to 0. So now the tick will stop here. It'll run this stuff a little bit, but it'll stop here until that time elapses, and this allows it, gates it through, and allows us to set, then we set the elapsed time back to 0, and the count starts over again. And we're clamped between 0 and 1. Let me neaten this up a little bit. I'm going to take and grab all this stuff here and pull it back here a little. Oh, I missed one. Let me grab all of this and pull it back here somewhat. And then grab these and pull them back here, sort of like this. Oops. Neaten this up just a little. And grab these, pull them back. We got kind of stretched out here. Let's pull these down. It just makes it a little bit easier to look at when you can see more of it all at once. We'll pull this back here. There's our function, or our healing process. It's not really a function, it's just an event tick, and every frame this is going to run and determine if we need to heal and how much we can heal by. So we're going to call this we're going to comment this, create a comment block. We're going to call it health restore. All right. So now we can test a couple of things. Let's compile that and save it. And just like we did here with this, well, we can just use this one, I guess, and modify it. That'll be simple. We want to go to our blueprints and our level blueprint. Now this level blueprint, I don't normally use the level blueprint for really much of anything. I know some people do. I prefer to create things in different ways, but this is really just test code here. This is testing out how these things work. So in this particular case, instead of doing this, so we already tested that out. It worked. We can keep some of these things. let's get rid of this. That's the player pawn. We'll probably need that. We'll need this cast. We'll need we won't need the stat component or any of this stuff here, but we will need this format text. All right, so let's start by just printing out our health. We've got our player pawn. We're going to want to do a cast again, so we'll do cast to player character base on the tick. I'll get that. Then we can come out of here and we can get our health. Add health component. No. What I want to do as player character base. I want to get the health component. Add health component. No. Compile, save. Player character base. Oh, we haven't added the health component to this. All right. So the next thing we need to do is type in health and get this health component right here and add it in. Now this is where I said we have to do something. Let's go back and look at our health component. It needs this stats component in there. So we go back to our player character construction script and we get this health component and we set the stats component and we set it to this stats component here. Bingo. Okay, in the construction script, what'll happen is when this constructs, it loads these, the construction script will run, it will take the health component as the target and it'll set the stats component to this stats component, giving the health component direct access to the stats component. The stats component does not need access to the health component, but the health component does need the other way around. So let's go back to our test map here. We've got this. So now we can do a get health component. That's what we want. We've got our health component and want to get health, and we want to do a format text. I think I accidentally deleted that, so let's type in format text and we'll call this we'll say health 0. Easy. Plug this into here, plug this into here, and then hook this execution path through to the print string, and now it should be printing out our health. Let's double check that and make sure that it's printing out our health, and it is health, and it started at 0, so we're healing already. 9, and it hit 1 and it stayed there, so the healing already worked because our health was defaulted to 0. So let's go back to our health component and set the default value of this to 1 so that we can try taking some damage now without having to wait for us to heal up. Alright, so back here in the test map, we've got this begin, and we've got our character base here already cast. So what we're going to do is actually no, that one's fine and this one's fine here for now. We can use it for other things. I'm going to put a different let me compile and save this. Let me compile and save that, and compile and save the character. And back in the test map, I'm going to add a different kind of volume in here. I'm going to first duplicate these, and I guess this is I guess this is okay, but we'll do this. And up here in volumes, I'm going to come down here and we'll find this interesting volume right here called a pain volume. And we'll just put this pain volume right here. And I don't have to do anything. Well, I can set the amount of damage, but it's going to do a damage of 1 per second, which isn't going to affect our health very much, but we can certainly try it out. This is going to fire that on take any damage event is what it's going to do. So all automatically for us. So if we walk over here to this one, our health is 1. We step into this, our health should be going down. And it appears to not be going down. Let's boost up the amount of damage for one thing. Let's set it to 100 and see what happens. See if this makes a difference. Health is 1. Okay, what did we do wrong? Did something wrong? Health component. This one. On taking damage. Event begin play. I ran it out of here instead of out of here, and we'll break this link. That doesn't need to go anywhere. This one, on take any damage, is what needs to go up there. That was a silly mistake. But it's easy to make those mistakes and watch for that kind of thing. You know, we don't. All this is doing is on begin play. It's binding this event. After that, when this event fires, this is the execution channel it fires. So now we should be able to walk over here, and we'll probably die pretty quickly. Yeah, we did, like instantly. So let's get this trigger volume again. Instead of 100, let's set it back down to 1. And hit play and walk over here, and oh, we're dying instantly. Why are we dying? Health component. That's damage time. Oh, last damage time. This is not what I wanted. Last damage time. I wanted health in here. Okay, another little mistake. Pull this down around that. So don't care about the last damage time anymore after it's set. We care about the health, our current health in here. So now let's see what happens now. Whoa. Instant death. Is there a problem with this? Less than or equal to 0, false. Oh, true, false. Live dead. That goes up there. That goes down there. And what I should do is change the order of these. Yeah, we'll just do that. True, it's dead. False, it's live. Okay, little logic mistake. Now, what happens? We go in here. So our health is coming down, 99.999. So now what we can do is increase the amount of damage on this. Let's set it at 10 and see what happens. Run over here. 0.995. It's trying to also heal at the same time. Because it's healing I think it was our delay. Let's go back to our health component and look at our health restored delay. Set to 0. We want to set that to 5 seconds. Compile, play. Okay, we'll get it tuned up here, and now 0.9, 0.85, 0.75, 0.97. Oh, it's going down very slow. 0.96. So this isn't doing a lot of damage. So now let's go back to here. Let's get this volume again. 10. pain interval is 1 second, so let's set it to 100. Play. Run over here, see if it 0.9, 0.85, 0.8, 0.75, 0.7, 0.65, 0.6. So we can watch until we get down. Now let's back off. We're outside of the pain area. 0.35, so there was a delay. Now it's going up 0.75, 0.8 because I gave it a 0.1 and we've healed. So now let's watch it die. We'll go in here 0.9, 85, 8, 75, 7, 6, 5, 6, 4, 5, 4, 3, 5, 3, 2, 5, 2, 1, 5, 1, 0.05, 0. Boom, we dead. There we go. So our health component is now generally functioning. There's going to be some other additions to this, how you take damage, how, different kinds of damage we can inflict. So if we take a quick look at that, if we look at our basic damage script down here and look at this, we've got this damage type. So it could be poison, it could be an arrow, and we can do different things based on that and the damage causer could have an effect. So if it's I guess an example might be that if this damage causer happened to be a zombie, maybe you not only take damage but you get some sort of an infection, and that lingers for a while. We can do all kinds of stuff with it. So it's a very powerful system, very simple to set up, just a few nodes. I will leave this whole diagram. Well, you can probably zoom into it and see it, but there's that whole diagram. I'll leave it up on the screens for a few seconds so you can pause the video on it and see it more clearly. There's a bit down here that might be off the screen a little, so there, I think that gets the entire thing on the screen. So take a close look at that, examine it, understand how the various math works. These are very simplified ideas here in terms of the mathematics. We could probably do better. We can do things with stats and so forth. So anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, there you go. So we have a completed health component. In upcoming videos, we'll incorporate this into our HUD, and at some point in time here, we'll hopefully get some kind of combat going on, and we'll be able to take damage and send damage to other characters, and we'll start working through that in future videos. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to get notifications when I upload videos, hit that notify button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.